Hello and welcome to Express News. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. My name is Abhishek Mahajan. We'll start with our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared pictures of his old memories as he enters 25th year in public office on October 7, remembering his days in 2001 when he took oath as Gujarat's Chief Minister for the first time. Speaking during the open debate on women, peace and security, India's permanent representative to the UN, Parvatneni Harish, highlighted how Pakistan conducted Operation Searchlight in 1971, sanctioning genocidal mass rape by its own army. The ambassador also described women peacekeepers as messengers of peace and outlined India's rich and pioneering contribution to the implementation of WPS agenda. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal met with Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani on Tuesday. The two leaders discussed collaborative strategies for expanding economic and strategic cooperation between the nations. Piyush Goyal also met with CEO of Qatar Development Bank, Abdul Rahman Hesham Al Suwaidi on Tuesday and invited Qatar Development Bank to enhance collaboration in India's growth story. The minister also met the members of the Qatari Businessmen Association. The discussion covered the potential for increased Indian investment in Qatar, particularly in renewable energy, given India's advanced grid capabilities. On an official visit to Doha, Qatar, Minister Piyush Goyal announced that India will launch a digital currency backed by the Reserve Bank of India. Speaking at the Trust and Safety India Festival 2025, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Ajay Shankar on Tuesday said that artificial intelligence must be governed with balance, responsibility and safeguards to ensure it empowers humanity rather than exploits it. The minister also highlighted India's role in shaping global AI governance. He underlined that decisions taken today will determine the future of societies across the world. Prime Minister of the United Kingdom Keir Starmer will visit India on 8th to 9th October at the invitation of Prime Minister Modi. This will be Starmer's first official visit to India. India on Tuesday launched the foreign currency settlement system on the very first day of Global FinTech Fest in Mumbai. The three-day event will be attended by fintech leaders, regulators, startup founders and investors from across the continents. On this occasion, Indian Finance Minister Sitharaman reiterated government's commitment to become global fintech leader with a humanitarian approach and distancing from weaponizing AI technologies. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh attended the conference on opportunities in defence manufacturing in India and also interacted with innovations for defence excellence startups at the Raksha Navachar Samvad. Speaking at the event, Defence Minister said that today's warfare has become completely technology-oriented and Operation Sindoor very well demonstrated it. India's Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, chaired by the Prime Minister Modi, on Tuesday approved 4 projects of Ministry of Railways with total cost of Rs 24,634 crore. The 4 projects will be covering 18 districts across Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Chhattisgarh and will increase the existing network of Indian Railways by about 894 kilometers. Prime Minister Modi had a telephonic conversation with Russian President Vladimir Putin and congratulates him on his 73rd birthday. The two leaders reaffirmed their commitment to further deepen their special and privileged strategic partnership. At the opening session of the Silver Jubilee edition of FICCI Frames, Sanjay Jaju, Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, reflected on the event's legacy and its role in shaping India's media and entertainment sector. Marking 25 years of FICCI Frames, Sanjay Jaju observed that the period represented both evolution and limitless possibilities. India and the United Kingdom are strengthening their maritime partnership as the bilateral exercise Concurrent 25 unfolds off India's western coast. Held from October 5th to 12th, the exercise features both harbour and sea phases. Business updates now. Indian equity indices ended on a positive note with Nifty up 30.65 points at 25,108.30 on Tuesday. At close, the Sensex was up 136.63 points at 81,926.75. Indian rupee ended flat at 88.78 per dollar on Tuesday. Gold futures maturing on October 3 was priced at 1,20,371 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for December 5 maturity stood at 1,46,909 rupees per kg on the MCX. According to World Bank data, the world's export is growing at 2.5%, whereas India's export is growing at 7.1%. Exports increased by 5.19% to $346.10 billion in April to August 2025 in comparison to the same period last year. Brent crude oil fell to $65.44 per barrel on Tuesday, down 0.05% from the previous day. OpenAI has joined hands with toy maker Mattel to test its new video model Sora 2. OpenAI also launched GPT-5 Pro and a smaller voice model for developers. At OpenAI's Developer Day, CEO Sam Altman said Mattel designers can now turn sketches into shareable videos using AI. The US Supreme Court has refused to block key parts of a sweeping injunction ordering major changes to Google Play Store operations. Hamas officials said on Tuesday that the group's delegation, now in talks in Egypt on a US plan to end the conflict in Gaza, is seeking to overcome all obstacles to achieving a settlement. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, Trump said on Monday he thought there would be a Gaza deal soon and tremendous progress on the issue had been made. Marking 2 years since October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages held in Gaza and an end to hostilities in the region. Global leaders posted social media messages on Tuesday to commemorate October 7, 2023 attacks by Hamas on Israel. Families held a moment of silence at the site of Israel's Nova Music Festival Tuesday to remember the victims of October 7, 2023 attack by Hamas. Syrian government forces and the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces agreed to a ceasefire in Aleppo after tensions between the two sides escalated into bombardments on the northern city. In Paris, leaders of France's left-wing parties met on Tuesday to address the country's deepening political crisis. The leaders have called for unity under the new Popular Front to challenge President Emmanuel Macron's leadership and prevent a far-right surge. A day after his shock resignation, outgoing French Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu began 2 days of last-ditch talks on Tuesday with members of various parties in an effort to find a way out of the country's political crisis. Lecornu's ministerial lineup had been fiercely criticized across the board by parties in the National Assembly, which threatened to vote it down. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet US President Donald Trump in Washington on Tuesday, with talks focused on shared priorities for a new economic and security relationship. US President Donald Trump announced that all medium and heavy-duty trucks imported into the United States will face a 25% tariff rate starting November 1st. Scientists John Clark, Michel Devore and John Martinez have been awarded 2025 Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery of macroscopic quantum mechanical tunneling and energy quantization in an electric circuit. A covert alliance between terrorist groups Lashkar-e-Taiba and Islamic State Khorasan province has been uncovered in Pakistan's Balochistan province, raising serious regional security concerns. At least 7 people were injured on Tuesday after an explosion on a railway track derailed 4 bogies of the Jafar Express in Sindh's Shikarpur district. 3 people were injured after a building partly collapsed in central Madrid near the Opera House on Tuesday. Firefighters had deployed sniffer dogs to search for any missing. 3 people were injured after a medical emergency helicopter crashed on Monday in the California city of Sacramento. 3 crew members were taken to nearby hospitals for treatment. The search for victims of last week's Indonesian school collapse ended on Tuesday, with the death toll climbing to 67 after part of the multi-story Islamic boarding school caved in on September 29. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un inaugurated the Pyongyang General Hospital on October 6 ahead of the 80th anniversary of the Workers' Party of Korea. Madagascar President André Rajoelina named Army General Rufin Fortunat Zafi-Sambo as Prime Minister on Monday, a week after dissolving the government in response to ongoing protests over power and water shortages. Hundreds of families in Mogadishu have been left homeless following government-led demolitions in districts like Hodan and Nile. The evictions have triggered protest and raised many concerns. All right, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other side, more stories. Keep watching Express News. Welcome back. You're watching Express News. Some more stories. News related to weather now. Homes and farmland in northern Egypt were submerged as rising Nile waters forced residents to evacuate. Egypt blamed Ethiopia's newly inaugurated Nile Dam for the floods, claiming unexpected water releases. Torrential rains from Typhoon Matmo flooded parts of Hanoi on Tuesday, leaving vehicles stranded and forcing residents to wade through calf-deep water. Heavy rains have disrupted daily life in Hanoi, with several schools switching to online classes and multiple flights affected. Heavy rains in Nepal have raised the death toll to 52, with 9 people still missing and 29 injured. The Nepali army rescued 12 stranded individuals, while search for more continue. Floods have blocked 19 roads in Koshi and Bagmati provinces, disrupting travel and transport in Nepal. Recent rains have impacted 32 hydropower projects in 10 districts, with 17 in operation and 15 under construction. In Nepal's Ilam, 15 out of 17 operating projects have stopped power generation. Heavy rain slashed Doda in Jammu and Kashmir, causing waterlogging, slippery roads and fresh snowfall in higher areas. Authorities warned residents to avoid travel and schools remained closed. Delhi and nearby regions witnessed fresh spells of rain on Tuesday, bringing relief from the heat and improving air quality. Yellow and orange alert remain in place for parts of Delhi NCR. Temperatures in northwest India is also likely to fall by 4 to 5 degrees Celsius for the next 2 days starting Wednesday due to the western disturbance. Heavy rainfall is expected at isolated places in Arunachal Pradesh on October 9 and 10, while northeast may experience heavy showers over the next 5 days. News on life and culture. Valmiki Jayanti is being celebrated across India on Tuesday to honor sage Valmiki, the author of the ancient epic Ramayana. The International Kullu Dashera festival, held from 2nd to 8th October, brings together over 300 local deities in Himachal Pradesh to honor Lord Raghunath, with week-long celebrations showcasing divine culture. Renowned Nigerian designer Al Fadi led a masterclass at Rome's Academy of Fashion for World Cotton Day, celebrating on 7th of October. The class blends African and Italian fashion traditions through cotton-based designs. The 2025 World Expo in Japan's Osaka showcased pavilions on the UN's history and human-like robots, highlighting technology innovation and future developments for visitors. In Mongolia, a homemaker has turned her homemade vitamin-rich colored flour made from fresh vegetable juice into a local favorite, earning steady income while supporting her family. A supermoon lit up the skies, drawing people to Colombia's observatory and Rio's beaches. This is the first of 3 supermoons in 2025. The Embassy of India in Bogota donated books to Utadeo University, inaugurating an India corner to showcase works on Indian history, literature, philosophy, culture and economy, enhancing educational and cultural ties. Hong Kong's Victoria Park was glowing with vibrant lanterns as the city celebrates the Mid-Autumn Festival. The grand show, running from September 30th to 7th October, featured giant illuminated displays blending tradition with modern design. On China's Hangzhou's West Lake, tourists enjoyed moonboat rides to celebrate Mid-Autumn Festival, admiring the night view under glowing moon-shaped lanterns. Two giant pandas made their debut at Beijing Zoo on Monday as China celebrated the Mid-Autumn Festival. To mark the occasion, zookeepers prepared special mooncakes for them. Macau marked the Mid-Autumn Festival with cultural events featuring lantern displays, traditional games, hand-through experiences and festive concerts. Mooncakes, a key part of China's Mid-Autumn Festival, are getting a modern twist this year with regional specialty fillings to suit changing tastes. At Hanoi's Z6 Heritage Hub, young people are reviving traditional Vietnamese culture through hands-on workshops, bringing folk traditions back to life during the Mid-Autumn Festival and reconnecting with heritage beyond museum walls. In East China's Zhejiang province, crowds of visitors gather along the King Tang River with flower-themed boats illuminated by elaborate lanterns. Australia's iconic Luna Park marked its 90th anniversary by inviting 90-year-old locals to relive old memories. Opened in 1935, the park has preserved its heritage. Entertainment updates now. Indian film Kantara Chapter 1 continues its unstoppable run at the box office since its worldwide release. The film has earned over Rs 258 crore gross on its fifth day. Bollywood actor Janhvi Kapoor and Varun Dhawan star Sunny Sanskari Ke Tulsi Kumari crossed Rs 33 crore at the box office by Monday. The 3D animated feature film Mahayodha Rama released its trailer on Tuesday. The film is set to hit theatres around Diwali on 17th October 2025. Indian actor Govinda is all set to return to the screen with a new show, Len Den. It's all about business. The show is expected to feature real stories, creative ventures and engaging business discussions. Film version of the Indian popular web series Mirzapur is being shot in Varanasi. Actress Shweta Tripathi started shooting for the film with her much-loved character Golu. Indian singer Karan Aujla is set to bring his sound to the UAE, launching his P-pop culture world tour with a concert scheduled on November 29. American comedian and actor Tracy Morgan's star Crutch released its trailer. The series is a spin-off of the hit sitcom The Neighborhood and is set to premiere on November 3rd. Actress Nicole Kidman attended the Chanel Spring-Summer 2026 collection at Paris Fashion Week on Monday. The British comedy talk show on the Graham Norton Show has been renewed for another 3 seasons. Graham Norton and his production company, So Television, will start the deal with Series 34 in 2026. Canadian singer Geddy Lee and guitarist Alex Lifeson are returning to the stage as the rock band rushed for their music tour titled 50-something in 2026. Linthoy Chanabam scripted history as she clinched India's first ever medal at the Judo Junior World Championships in Peru on Tuesday. Former Test opener Matt Renshaw has been named in the Australia's one-day squad for the home series against India this month, while batter Marnus Labuschagne was left out of both the one-day and the T20 squads after a poor run of form. Pacer Mitchell Starc has returned to international action for the first time this summer after resting. All-rounder Glenn Maxwell remains sidelined from the T20 internationals due to wrist injury. Indian wicketkeeper batter Rishabh Pant, who had fractured his right foot in England, is expected to feature in the second round of Ranji Trophy this month. Ahead of India-Australia match, the Andhra Cricket Association has decided to name stands after Mithali Raj and Ravi Kalpana at the cricket stadium in Visakhapatnam. The Marylebone Cricket Club has confirmed that the umpire's decision to adjudge Pakistan's Muniba Ali run out against India in the Women's World Cup was as per the rules. In tennis, Emma Raducanu retired from a Wuhan Open first-round match with dizziness as she appeared to be struggling with temperatures soaring to 30 degrees Celsius. The governing body of men's tennis ATP could consider a formal heat rule after a string of retirements at the Shanghai Masters this week. English footballer Harry Kane revealed that he is considering extending his stay at German club Bayern Munich. World Football governing body UEFA confirmed that they have approved a Serie A and a La Liga match to be played abroad. Central Asian Nation Soccer Association announced that Italian Fabio Cannavaro will coach Uzbekistan as they prepare for their first World Cup next year. The Spanish Soccer Federation said midfielder Rodri will miss World Cup qualifiers against Georgia and Bulgaria this month due to injury. MotoGP champion Marc Marquez will miss the next 2 rounds of the season in Australia and Malaysia after suffering injury in a crash at the Indonesian Grand Prix. Well, that's all we have in this edition of Express News. You stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.